All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for that.
That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Season 2, episode 7. And hey, speaking of 7, you know, the 7th strike was just about to be done.
Yeah, 7 strikes for 7 main something. Yeah.
Right. So Rimuru has been defeated soundly. Okay. Hopefully he's alive, though, because the whole devouring himself thing.
He won't die when he gets killed. That's...
Naturally. But this might be his last journey, his final fantasy, if you will, because he just met Sakaguchi Hinata.
Kill me! I only need 1 strike to die now. You just did 6 in one cringy pun. That was amazing, though. That's what's going on over by the nation with the kids and stuff.
Yep.
Ranga will at least be with him, so he'll have company. Who knows? He might go all the way inside his own little pocket dimension inside where he's eating shit.
Yep.
And might just hang out with Veldora for a little bit.
Yeah,
we'll see.
So, first time.
just chilling here, you know?
Yep.
But then what's going on back at home? Because shit's wild over there.
Yep.
And, how long will Rimuru have to be inside himself?
Right. And also, what is going to be the response of Hinata as she's like, haha, I've defeated him, and then she sees whatever she sees when that happens.
I mean, that's the thing.
Oh, fuck, that cheater.
She's not trying to destroy his body, necessarily.
Right, she's trying to destroy his soul.
Which means that she might have a place that she's planning to put his body. So it's the thing of where she just bags him, takes him somewhere, puts him in this perfect seal thing where it's now we'll question him.
Now he really is like Veldora.
Oh, that could be the creepy thing, is that they end up taking the body and they're like, oh no, we have a way to get info out of them once the spirit or soul is done with. Then it's the make them speak in the ways it's like into the brain, magic thing, and it's like, give us info, you know?
I'm very excited to see what comes from this, both directly and indirectly.
Yeah. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion.
Okay.
All right, Rimuru ate the sword.
Yep, he ate the sword, and he did some very sneaky but effective and believable shenanigans to get out of there. Yeah. Doppelganger, okay, but more importantly, he uses the fire to make it so that she can't see him for a split second, and then makes a little blob of himself that Elastigirl flattens himself into just a tiny little film in the grass. Yep. Cool. Awesome.
Okay.
Anyone could miss that, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
And the fact that she pulled out all the stops after losing the sword to where she summoned like some kind of like elementals or something, some kind of primordial beings to then be the things that would grapple him to then also then be consumed to be the implements for a god level spell.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool.
And
cool.
And I gotta say that I really love that it was specifically a disintegration spell, even though that's very different than the traditional kind of disintegration spells in like, you know, D&D and things like that, because I've always felt that like disintegration as a spell idea, as a concept is so awesome. It's being limited to a green beam and a 6th level spell. It's not enough. That's not enough. 9th level god magic, you know, like smote from the heavens, and you know there is no traces left of anything, and
it's also very minimally destructive in terms of what it does to the environment. This is actually a very pure,
cold, clean, methodical, and thorough.
Yeah, exactly.
My favorite.
I personally love the way that this show handles high-level spell casting.
Yes.
Pretty much every time it's done, it's very much a soft magic system from the outset, but it is one that is visually very easy to understand.
And there also are enough limitations for it that when it ends up doing crazy big things, we know why it's not done all the time, right? For this person, it's probably some, you know, she's a special exception with the barriers around the city. You know, that was something big that had to be set up and whatnot. So, okay, cool.
Right. The element of bringing in the summons, which would then be used to restrain it enough so her 3-second cast time actually hits the target.
Because otherwise
properly.
There's no way it would work, you know?
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yep.
So, cool stuff.
Awesome.
But yeah, Rimuru, you have been politically stabbed in the back.
Right.
Not really by friends, but by the nature of being next to another powerful nation.
Right.
Which is a a really cool thing that they're bringing up now, because by having both the church be like the kind of the right arm of this whole thing, where they come in with their power and just boom hit them, but then the nation being the one where it's a very simple just greed motivation, it makes it feel really just simple and fucked. Like it's just they were greedy. They realized that their profits are going to be hurt, so they're like, we conjured up
go to war with this nation.
A pretty good reason for our citizens to be okay with us just initiating war.
We've got our propaganda set up, and there you go.
And we can also start sharing this propaganda to other nations who will then see us as justified in doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would bet that over the course of the small bit of time that Tempest as a nation has been around, they haven't just been trading with the dwarves or with the Beast Kingdom. They've been trading with everybody. And it's the thing about, Tempest, aren't they an army? I mean, a nation of monsters? Yeah, but things are great. We have merchants that go in there and everything's been great. It's the, something happened. Of course it would happen.
We knew it would have to happen with something like this.
All our biases are confirmed now.
It's too bad, really. But I guess you just can't help it.
They're a nation of monsters. What do you expect?
So the idea that Rimuru needs to
quickly get the word out.
Quickly get the word out, and not just, hey, we're being attacked, but this is what's going on.
This was a tragedy of their own making, and they are trying to take advantage of it to exterminate us via some kind of, I would assume they're going to end up gathering other nations as well.
Oh yeah, I think so.
And they'll be like, hey, let's have a holy crusade. It's been a while. Yeah. We're gonna
also, they've got
monsters.
some good shit that we could liberate. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, the terrifying thing about this is that the Dwarf King,
Dorgon.
Dwargon, thank you.
Or no, that's the city.
Well, but basically, he kind of gave Rimuru this warning, basically, of that just because we're allies and stuff, I will, try to help you and stuff like that. But I also have to think about, my own kingdom in case things get really bad. I can't just immediately throw myself necessarily into whatever conflict you're dealing with. So we could see a situation where Rimuru's actually a little bit left alone outside of maybe the Beast Kingdom, because there's this whole thing going on with them needing Rimuru's help right now.
Right.
But they're not getting it right now because of the communication breakdown. So it might be this thing where they're like, maybe the Beast Kingdom ends up losing, what's his name, Carrion. And it's like, we'll help what we can, but
we'll help, but
with our own shit.
Wait, no, actually we can't because Milim's attacking, right?
Right.
Like there are with the fact that Tempest as a nation was brought low by this, right? Not destroyed, but they lost this encounter. And that Rimuru also lost his encounter, even though he got out of it in a very clever way. And because, she disintegrated her sword, she might not be able to ever do something like that again, right?
I mean, she might not be called in to fight again for a long time.
But the stakes are set for why the idea of going to war with nations is a problem.
A very big problem.
And that's something that's very important to have, given the fact that we recently dealt with, there's an army of, a swarm of a ton of orcs and things like that. How will, you would think that's kind of battling a nation, right? No. Except, no, not really. Not really. That was just a massive army, right?
Yeah, that was being manipulated.
Exactly. But what happens when you have an established society that then is like, no, fuck you in particular?
Yeah, and they have alliances, and they have production. They have the ability to, conscript a massive army of their own civilians.
They have their own heroes and champions.
Right, but they believe then they're right for doing this.
Yeah.
There's a whole issue of where you could break the spirit of an army because, there's some magical shenanigans at play. But it's more of the, no, we have fervor. We believe that you're evil. And it's that this is right. So it's like,
And then once it starts, who cares if the start of it wasn't good? My friends and family have been slaughtered in this battle because,
it perpetuates itself.
Right, exactly. So
Rimuru, you need to find a way to figure out a peaceful solution quickly. Otherwise, this will be very bad. Even if you consistently win battles, that might then become a thing that they turn to more propaganda of, see, these monsters need to be destroyed, otherwise they'll threaten the whole world. Everyone rise up to stop them.
Who knows, eventually you might be in a situation where you're just pointing off into the distance with one of your slime appendages, like, we kill all the people over there, will we finally be free? And
I mean...
That's no good.
I mean, one of the terrifying things about Rimuru as a protagonist is that his power scaling is limitless.
Right.
Basically, as long as there is something out there more powerful than him, he could eventually just eat it and get stronger.
Like, if he ate the sword, that was the copy of him that ate the sword.
That was the copy.
Okay, yeah, and then
it got disintegrated.
Right. So right. The creator very specifically is like, no, we are not going to have that be a problem. Where then Rimuru recreates the 7 strikes kill anything sword. That's not happening.
Most likely.
Most likely,
yeah.
99.8% sure that's not going to happen.
Well, the other 0.2%.
Well, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Gabiru and Gabta just go ham.
Yeah, so nobody's dead, named character-wise.
Right.
But I like that they brought up, what was his name, Hokuro? Because of all the characters that I could see dying from their wounds, if they don't get rid of this barrier quick enough, he was the one that's like, he's old.
Yeah, he'll be okay, but
both him and Gobta suffered with, as they said, severe wounds.
Right.
Which is I like that as they will not be fighting in the next episode or 3 maybe. But we do have crazy potions. We do have crazy, spellcasters here. If we can get the barrier down, and Soe does some good job with that, which it's still up.
Right.
They're having meetings while the barriers is still up. That's how bad the situation is.
Oh yeah, and
so everything is like hour by hour,
right. Well, and one of the things I was wondering if it would be brought up in this episode, and it might be brought up in the next episode because we only got like a little bit of Miran like sort of talking about the situation.
Right. It might happen mostly off screen to just speed things along.
But is the spell that she started, is that something that she is keeping up? Because
I think so.
I think so, and that would add a lot more reason also of we need to kill her to get the barrier down.
Well, that's a thing that maybe it'd be a like, oh, would it? We should test it,
Sure.
Miran, we're gonna hit you really hard in the head.
No.
It's not gonna kill you, but
right.
You can see if it doesn't.
Well, we've got a healing potion for after, but
right, because it might be the thing of where she casted it, but again,
it's self-sustaining.
It's self-sustaining. It's very much this needs to be dispelled by an 8th level spell or higher or something.
Or theoretically, maybe it just doesn't really matter at this point because since the knights, given that it's 100 knights, it makes sense that it wouldn't stick around because it's only 100 of them, right? And they would be the most mobile, so they'd be able to get there first and cause chaos and throw them onto their back foot. But given that they're gone now, it's not like an immediate problem that it's up. It's an inconvenience, but it's not we can't defend ourselves as our people are getting slaughtered,
Well, right. And the idea that he gave them a week basically saying we're coming back is also a thing of where it's like, well, like let's assume that they're telling the truth for now. Can we get the barrier down in a week? It's like, oh, we can get the barrier down within a day or 2. It's like, okay,
right,
cool.
Sweet.
Let's assume they're lying. What's the fastest they could field an army here
and get them here?
And it's like 4 or 5 days. It's like, okay, cool.
Right.
So
they'll be able to be prepared, and as far as the reasonings for why they'd be giving them a week, I fully believe that it's just because it took a week longer for the army to get here than for the knights that are
mounted on horseback and
they don't need as many supply trains and stuff because there's just 100 of them, so they can move a lot faster. Cool.
I honestly just am noticing the production values of the season also just being really good in general compared to like some of the other stuff from season 1. If they're actually going to have army on army combat here, I absolutely believe that not only are we going to see it, we're going to see it at the large scale, not we only ever see 5 enemies or 5 people on screen at a time, but like oh my gosh.
Yeah, we could get some actual like
formations
epic army on army battles.
And like specific areas and like all kinds of stuff there. Like that sounds so cool.
That would be so awesome. I definitely have a hard on for like fantasy like
large scale combat.
Large scale combat with strategy and tactics and all that. It's so rare. Yeah.
And if there is, it's usually the nameless horde of orcs, basically.
Exactly.
That has no real, like, definitive
You
kind of
don't get to
differences.
see how they incorporate spellcasters into battle formations.
Especially for the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah, because, you have the heroes that, like, are the ones who do that stuff, and then it's awesome, but then, not really for... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So...
But Muran letting them know everything, but Yom and the other guy...
right. Grucius,
thank you.
Yes.
Protecting her was a really cool little detail here to kind of put a situation where Rimuru is, like, debating, like, so...
What do I
do here? Yeah.
Right. And her specifically showing Rimuru the repercussions of what she did.
Right.
Before it's the, okay,
punish me. I did this.
All right. Exactly. Don't hurt them.
Don't blame them.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But also I loved the sweetness of the way that everybody was like, don't shut up. Don't tell him yet.
Right.
We need him to handle this piecemeal at a time, because this is the thing that's maybe very easy to forget, I would say. Rimuru is not only, like, very strong, he is the strongest by a mile compared to anybody here in his own nation.
Yep.
So the idea that they probably haven't seen him get angry in a long time, and while they are very much a nation of rules and respect and honor, I could very easily see them having that moment of where it's for his own, like, sensibilities, but also just he could be pretty scary if he gets angry, and we don't know if this would be one of those things that would make him get angry, not just necessarily at, the enemy nation and what have you, but like, just generally, generally angry.
Well, and then on top of that, the whole idea where the old guy is like, well, we did, there were the rules that you told us never to attack humans, right?
So,
granted, not that they necessarily would have been able to do anything, because these people were civilians and things like that, but it's it's the shut up. That's not helpful right now. That you're right. You're right, and that is probably something good to think about at some point.
Right.
But not now. Read the room.
Come on.
Like, he's just... Come on.
I always told you I fucking hated humans. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. This is not the time. People died. Get over it yourself. It's
right.
Like, okay.
Yep. And even if there weren't named characters that were shown to be dead, which for a second I really thought they were maybe going to do.
Yeah, there was some of the goblins that we had come to know through Gobta, potentially. Yeah.
Exactly.
I was literally, like, worried that Gobta's buddy...
Yes,
that was going to be one of the ones that died.
I thought so too. But no, that's fine, because one, this isn't the show that necessarily will kill named characters, but two, it doesn't matter. People died. They were your people, right?
They were civilians. They were children.
Yep.
It's
How do you deal with that?
Yep. Good luck with that one. But all right, that's where we're at.
Yep.
Next episode, let's figure out this whole Clayman scheme, maybe. Miron knows a little bit more. Potentially some ways in which they can get not just the barriers down, but potentially find some kind of immediate solution for an army coming in a week, because they just also might have to flee. Like, they might not have the capabilities to actually stop that.
Well, because also, granted, they had to surprise them in order to do this, but... if they use those barriers to weaken them and stuff for the knights to show up and the three, other
what could they do with a full
people, what could they do if you're in battle formations and it's an army? Is there, like, if they sneak people to the other side, set up something like that so that...
Well, that's the thing. They would have to have preparation. They'd have to have their scouts constantly out. I don't think they would be able to surround them again unless they came with, like, a bunch of other nations, which I don't think they'd field the other nations' armies that quickly. And I think this anime is going for a little bit of realism with regards to the way that armies move super slowly.
Yes, and I think that's something...
and that's a really good thing to kind of keep in mind.
Right, that could be a very fun point of conflict in that because they were wanting to make sure that they were the aggressors and they caught them on the back foot.
Sure.
They moved their armies immediately. So even if they have a week to prepare, they might be able to prepare their army because it's there. They don't need to transport it. But for everyone else, no, that would take a hell long time.
It might take a month, yeah.
Right, they could help them with dealing with things after they deal with the army.
Also, forget that. Just the idea that they're going to have to send their messages out to everybody, be like, this happened.
Sure, the amount of time
other people are going to have to decide, okay, then what do we do? Do we give you guys, like, money? Do we, like, be like, I'm so sorry for this tragedy. We stand by you. Yeah. But if they give any kind of retaliatory effort, our armies will stand in the way.
Right.
Well, we won't advance. See, we will defend you.
See, what I would want to request for something like this, even though that would be much harder to,
If you're the bad guys or Rimuru?
Rimuru.
Okay.
Is that if you have a close ally where you have like a mutual, like,
like
alliance
the dwarves
type thing, yeah. Or the Werebeast Kingdom, or the Beast Kingdom, yeah. Is not just say, could you help us because they might arrive too late. Mm-hmm. Can you counterattack?
I mean,
like, something like that.
That's different, though. It's still different.
No,
because it
totally.
involves going into their territory and...
Right, but if it's something where they then see that, like, oh, there's another army that's coming towards us, and before the army actually gets there, could that be something where then they're like, okay, can we counter pressure to make our army pull back?
But again, armies move slowly.
Right, yeah.
I feel like that's the kind of thing that Rimuru would do. I teleport right outside their main gate.
Oh, and just start wrecking shit.
I don't want to hurt anybody, but you better bring your leaders out here. You have an hour. I'm going to start shooting things at you. And then they just, big barrier start erecting, like, well, I guess that's their decision. Walks up next to the barrier, Sage, analyze. Okay, well, you will need to go through this barrier, otherwise your magic won't do anything. Okay. And it's like, fuck!
Right.
But then that's the problem. He then becomes a villain, because it's the, does he give retribution in the same way?
Yeah, no, that's
the leaders just hide, and then it's the, like, well, what are you gonna do? It's a nation. You can't just start killing people.
No.
You have to actually, like, diplomatize in a way. But if they don't want to meet with you...
That's why, you just try and take over their leadership, capital,
You're
whatever.
One guy!
Well, no, I know. That's why I would say if you get an army to go in there to just threaten an attack on their capital.
I know, but then they seem justified, because it's the... You going to do that?
Yeah, potentially, but that's going to be something you'll have to deal with anyway.
No, I know, but
maybe you
that's
could get
the
them
tricky
to...
situation here.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below. For our Patreon, you can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.